$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Master of the Covenant, Breaker of Seven Seals. The very fact that not one person, or the thousands of people that have watched my presentations, not one person, especially from the NOI, has ever stepped forward to claim this $5,000. Because they cannot. He does not represent Elijah Muhammad. Never has and never will. Maybe when Elijah was a present, but he's Aaron, the betrayer, the liar, the pimp. That's who he is. He misses Aaron. So look up Aaron. I mean, how foolish can you be? If he tells you Aaron, then look at what Aaron does. I mean, there's so much foolishness over there. He tells you, I'm a thief. And you say, oh, well, he must mean it figuratively. He says Aaron. So what Aaron does. Aaron's no goddamn good. He turns everything around. He gets him all his followers killed. So keep on Farrakhan. He's doing a good job because all the people that's following you are idiots, fools, agents, or demons, and we don't want any of them. So Farrakhan, don't go anywhere. You're doing a good job because you're attracting idiots and fools and demons because no one had a thought in their mind, a decent thought, a credible thought, objective thought, will follow you anywhere. Why don't any of them shut me down? Just claim it's $5,000. It should be easy. That's his claim that he's representing Elijah Muhammad and Master Muhammad. That's his claim. So why don't you step forward and get it? And win-win. You embarrass me if I don't pay up. You shut me down if I don't pay up. And you get $5,000, right? If I pay up. And you still shut me down. Instead of sending me nasty grams and out there trying to downplay what I'm saying by coming to your stupid ass videos, trying to denounce, trying to deconstruct what I'm saying with your BS. Oh, time is, we're there now, bro. 6,000 years, we're there. Like Elijah Muhammad said, this is something he did say. Truth be so clear in the fool and error. And if you fear error, that means you got to be worse than a fool. So even a fool will not err. You got to be dumber than a goddamn fool. So we're going to play some clips here out of the horse's mouth. Well, if you read Balaam, out of the ass's mouth. Out of the ass. Who is it? See, if you read Balaam, the ass that Balaam he's riding on is Farrakhan, if you understood the Injil. So he chastised 3 times. What was the first one? Cancer, 55. Come on. That's not no, what would you call it? Trial? That's a goddamn curse. Any man would tell you the guy ain't sense. At 55, you get your ass blown with cancer, and now you're pissing shit in the bag, and that's not a curse? That's the worst thing any man could imagine happening. That's even worse than death. A lot of men would prefer death before that. That's a curse. So he telling you, God, I'm going to show you a clip. He's saying God protects, he ain't got to worry about nothing. He's saying God protects, he ain't got to worry about nothing. If I mess with him, God's going to tear his country. That's what he's saying. I can show you the clip. He's saying it. Just before they blew us up with cancer. So what God was that? He stated just before that, a year or so before that, well, nothing better happened to me. God protected me. What goddamn God is that? And you had this vision. You had a vision that they was gonna blow your ass up with cancer. I mean, with radiation tubes, tablets. And whoever's the God to protect you. You see? He's a multi-millionaire. Come on. He ain't robbing anybody. That's why he was cursed, because he's been robbing the nation for 40-some years. He ain't produced a goddamn. Come on. He revived the nation. I was there. He hadn't revived anything. Go to the study groups, find out where they are. Some of them in little classrooms that they let them use at night. One I went to in Florida, if you was over 100 pounds, they had to grease you down and put you in the chair. The chair was so small. And once you got in it, had to cut you out, because anyway you get back out of it. It's a joke. He's getting money. He's getting money for. He's a pimp. He's got multi-million dollars. Putting Elijah Muhammad never put sis on the streets. Yeah, sis on the streets doing fundraisers because he can't get the males to do anything. His so-called FOI, they won't do a damn thing. His son is probably the supreme captain, won't do a damn thing. And he got sis on the street doing fundraisers so he can put steaks on his plate and drive around the world in his cars, his lawns, what they call stretch mobiles and all that kind of stuff. Often he's a goddamn pimp. And he follows the devil. Personal Clark, look it up. Move on, brothers and sisters. He's over. I'm telling you, he will not survive. He will not be in charge of, well, he's not in charge of anything right now because he's pissing shit in the bag. He's incontinent. That's why I'm showing pictures of him. He said, oh, God told him not to speak. They tell him don't take pictures. He had so-called 100 million man. That was a farce. What about the second one? Nobody showed up on the second one. He didn't show up himself, the coward. The second one, he said, oh, we're going to have all big old, everybody show up, man. We're going to have a place full. And nobody showed up. And then a brother pointed out to me, he says, the people that did show up was that minister, that Christian minister that came there, that was his people. What a joke. What a joke. Unfortunately for me, I got to speak to it. The Lord will consume the spirit of his mouth and destroy the brightness of the coming. Because I have to speak to it because they're the ones confusing our people. They're the ones causing the crime and stuff. See, blackface devils, because they raped our nation for hundreds of years. So half the nation, half the blacks in America are demons. They skin folk. They're the ones creating the crime, causing the confusion. And you got our people all confused because you got sheep, but they're really wolves, and you can't distinguish them. But all you know is why they eating the sheep? Why the sheep eating sheep? So everybody's afraid of everybody. So you got to identify those wolves and pull them out. Then we have peace and safety. Brothers and sisters, it's bad.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Okay, brothers and sisters, I'm just going to, like I said, let the ass speak for itself. If you understood the injury, you realized in Balaam, what he's riding on Farrakhan. He's the ass. I know you don't understand it, but you will soon. I mean, for those righteous, truly righteous, faith, not skin folk, if you understand time enough, right? Save you. That's if you want to be saved. Want to be delivered home. Farrakhan still not going anywhere. Just calling God a liar. I mean, how can they get around that one? God says we're leaving here after 40 years. And Farrakhan, see, it's everything about that guy's shit. He said, no, we ain't going anywhere. So he calling God a liar. Elijah Muhammad said, we fools won't stay here. So he called Elijah Muhammad a liar and a fool too. It's right there, black and white. They say, he follows the devil. Well, biology tells you he's a devil too. It's a blackface devil. You go back and he just sees that he's not seeing Abraham as follows the devil. He admits his father the devil. We're going to show that. I mean, everything about this guy comes up pure shit. Pure. Everything. Let's move on, brothers and sisters.
Three. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. 5. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold, therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury, it upheld me. 6. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth.
Now that's the real Messiah talking. Farrakhan claims he's the Messiah. But he's pissing shit in a bag. He's incontinent. He can't wipe his own ass. And they had to lift him up, put him back in the bed, and he can't even get around in his own wheelchair. That's why I'm showing you pictures. You see? They go, oh, he's okay. No, he's not okay. But he's the Messiah. And you don't even talk like this. Let's see how this Messiah, him, yes, talks. And see if that is consistent with this at all. The accuser. Now watch this.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flager as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor,
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm only one shade lighter than you, so. and Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you. Go ahead.
One more time, brother.
Really? That's Elijah teaching? Really? Show me. Show me anywhere. Met a black man, South America, the lessons, anything. Muhammad speak. Yeah, he verified what he just said. In any way. Show me a scripture where he said one devil is good. Show me. And they say 100% wicked, all of them, every one. Cannot be reformed. This is God talking. It must be removed off the planet. So Pharaoh, he's the Messiah. He knows more. He's wiser than Master Muhammad. So Master Muhammad should come and learn from him. Get on his knees and bow down with his head between Farrakhan's legs and say, please, teach me. Teach me. But I don't know. Goddamn, that's stupid. And yeah, some devils must be okay. I mean, damn, I'm glad you explained it to me. Sick. Watch this one. Oh, let me speak to this. Here. You got a brain? If you do, say the NOI is a bloom. It's underwater. And why is it underwater? Blooms normally underwater. You ever seen a balloon underwater by itself? Ever? No. You have to push it underwater, don't you? And stay where you have to maintain the force that's got on the water. Keep it on the water, don't you? You have to apply force to it. Don't you? So, do you blame the balloon for being underwater? Balloon, what's wrong with you? You're underwater. You got to get it. You what's wrong with you? You blame the balloon or you blame the force that's holding underwater? Which one do you blame? You blame the balloon for being underwater or the force that's got the balloon underwater? Which one do you blame? Which one do you blame? The balloon underwater or the force holding the water? Now, go pull out your calculator. If you can't figure it out, fine. Turn the channel. Go keep watching NFL. And while you're doing it, see if you can spell NFL. See if you can spell NBA. Learn how to do that before you come back over here. Learn how to spell NFL and NBA. Okay? You understand? So which one do you blame? So if it's underwater, that means it's other than itself. Who's to blame? The balloon? Or what's? So if we here under the authority of the devils, and they're the one that caused us to be in this condition, we didn't transform this condition on our own. They forced us to be in this condition. So who's to blame for being in this condition? Us or them? Who's to blame for us maintaining this condition, us or them? Which one is it? Now, if you're a dumbass, right, a demon, a fool, then you might say, oh, well, it's the balloon's fault. You might say it, and it's fine. But if you got any sense, you don't have to be a mathematician or any physicist to see that balloon's underwater, something's holding on the water. And understand what it means the force remains on it. So you're going to blame the force if you say that balloon should be free, be act itself again. Wouldn't you? So what's the solution there? Either destroy the force that's holding it or to move out from under the force. Isn't that the solution? Move out from under the force that's holding you down or destroy the force that's holding you down. Then you return back to normal instantly. But you can't do that unless you know what's the cause of the force. Because we're the cause of the force, then removing the force or moving it won't matter because we're going to still stay on. If it's us doing it, then we're going to stay on the water no matter what. Because we want to be on the water. According to Farrakhan, you got the tone, you're sick. You're wicked, you're no goddamn good. You got a tone. He blaming us, the accuser, for being the condition we are, and because we maintain it, and then he tells us further than that, we ain't going nowhere. So don't get up from under it. Stay here and get up on that water. And be like them. Ain't that what he's saying? How is that going to happen? Tell me the math. Oh, he got a magic wand? That's why he's Jesus. He got this power. He can do that. He can transform us we still be underwater, right? He's blaming us, but he won't blame the people that's put this us on us and that maintain us in this condition and tell us we shouldn't even try to get up from under it. We want to stay here. Don't leave. You don't want to go to Africa. You don't want to go there. You want to stay right here under their foot, kissing their ass, eating their shit. But nah, fuck. That's his idea, ain't it? You got the tone. The devils, they good. They all right. They ain't devils anymore. Ain't their fault. It's our fault. See, we're sinners. That's why we're in a condition. That's not what Abraham was told. He said his seed, maybe they weren't even born yet. Your seed, Abraham's a righteous man. His seed is ground, his seed is righteous. So somehow we got wicked on our own. We decide to be wicked on our own, and we come over here and we decide to get underwater by ourselves, be in this condition. We change our names ourselves. We say, hey, I don't want to be called Kent anymore. Call me Nikki. Boom shit. See? And give me the cross. I love Jesus. He cursed my ass. He said I should be black and enslave everybody. But I love him. I love him. I love Jesus. I love him so much. Right? I know he cursed me. He cursed me black. He said I wasn't no goddamn good and I should be a slave forever. I love him. I love America. They raped me. They broke me. Sodomized our women and children for 40 years. But I love America. Go to where? I love America. Come on, America. I've been there with butt break me some more. I just love it. That's his program. That's Farrakhan's program. Tell me I'm wrong. $5,000 to prove me wrong. That's his program. Because he's one of them. Solution is where Elijah Muhammad said, get out from under them and get rid of them. That's what Master Muhammad said, but not his solution. So we jealous to ourselves. And we like it. I want to stay here. I like you butt breaking me. I've been over, you want me been over every day? I've been over twice a day, 10 times if you want me to. I'll get my head between your legs, but I'll take care of you. I love you, America. I love you. You white folks, I love you. I love Jesus. Yeah. Just call me Bobby Knickenbobber. I love it. But just call me straight. But you give me a real name you gave me, Nick. Just call me nigga. I love it. That's his program. Tell me I'm wrong. Show me where I'm wrong. Show me how I'm wrong. Show me wrong. $5,000. Mm-mm. Mm. A second, brothers and sisters. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Second, brothers and sisters. Second here. Back row says I got a little technical issue here. This got too hot for YouTube. Here. That's good enough. Accuser our brethren be cast down. He's an accuser. He blaming us. So-called Mini Man March. Oh, torn for what? We didn't do this to ourselves. See? What? See, he's a demon. Read Mark. Louis Eugene Grounds, NOI backwards. That's him. Louis Eugene Grounds, L-E-G-I-O-N, Legion. We want to argue about the G. I'm not going to go into that. You want to argue about it? That's fine. That means you stick with them. Louis Eugene Grounds, he was the one that had the Nation of Islam captive, the son of perdition. Let's move on. And deal with this. Tell me this is not correct. So if you got a brain, let's see how good your brain is.
Although the Nation of Islam, does not presently advocate violence by its members, the group does preach hatred of the white race and racial separatism. The membership of the Nation of Islam is organized and poses a real racial threat. The Nation of Islam is responsible for the largest black nationalist newspaper, which has been used by other black extremists. The Nation of Islam appears to be the personal fiefdom of Elijah Muhammad. When he dies, a power struggle can be expected and the Nation of Islam could change direction. We should be prepared for this eventuality. We should plan how to change the philosophy of the Nation of Islam to one of strictly religious and self-improvement orientation, deleting the race hatred and separate nationhood aspects. In this connection, Chicago should consider what counterintelligence action might be needed now or at the time of Elijah Muhammad's death to bring about such a change in Nation of Islam philosophy. Important considerations should include the identity, strengths, and weaknesses of any contenders for Nation of Islam leadership. What are the positions of our bureau deletion informants in regard to leadership? How could potential leaders be turned or neutralized? The alternative to changing the philosophy of the Nation of Islam is the destruction of the organization. This might be accomplished through generating factionalism among the contenders for Elijah Muhammad's leadership or through legal action in probate court on his death. Chicago should consider the question of how to generate the factionalism necessary to destroy the Nation of Islam by splitting into several groups, bureau deletion. Do you think that the FBI just folded and walked away? Read this document carefully. Did not the FBI accomplish each of their goals? Did not Farrakhan deliver everything the FBI wanted? We should plan to change the philosophy of the Nation of Islam to one of strictly religious and self-improvement orientation. Sunniism, Scientology. Deleting the race hatred. Don't call devils anymore. Deleting the separate nationhood aspects. We ain't going nowhere. No existing economic program. The reason why these facts are ignored is because those that surround him are demons, fools, idolaters and FBI agent handlers who make sure he stays on track.
How'd you do on that one? Did you pass that test, brothers and sisters? That's their something I made up. That was their plan to deal with Nation of Islam and Elijah Muhammad's absence. Those just words I just put them into video, right? That's their documentation. They say bureau deletion. That means they don't want you to know the names of the organizations that they have control of. Now remember, their goal was either get control of the Nation of Islam or destroy it. That was their choice. Either one or the other. Either we control it or we destroy it. Is it destroyed? Well, I mean, yeah, actually it is destroyed because it ain't what it was. So that means they have control of it. They have control of it. Any successors that be, how we compromise, neutralize them. They got Farrakhan. They have control of the Nation of Islam. Otherwise, they would not exist. They was going to take our existence or control it. That was their goal. Does it still exist? That means they have control of it. If they have control, it means they got control of Farrakhan. The lying pimp, no good coward devil, son of a devil. How's your logic doing that one? Let's move on. Here, he's called a master fraud, a liar. Let's look at this one.
That they fear. That's right. I don't have no army. I just know the truth. And I'm here to separate the good Jews from the satanic Jews. Yes, yes, yes! This is just the beginning, banning me from a social platform.
That's right.
I use that platform with respect.
That's right.
I never allowed those who follow me to become vile as those who speak evil of us. So I am dangerous, not to you, unless you feel that Father Pfleger's invitation to me may hurt Saint Sabina. They don't have the power to hurt Saint Sabina if you don't give them that power. I thank you for listening to me. I have not said one word of hate.
No, sir.
I do not hate Jewish people. Not one that is with me has ever committed a crime against the Jewish people, black people, white people, no matter what your color is. As long as you don't attack us, we don't bother you. So you met me tonight. Social media, you met me tonight. I plead with the ruler Jews. Let the truth be taught. I plead, because this is the only thing that will make America not great again, make America truly great. If you allow me to tell the truth that God has revealed to his servant, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that he taught me, we can save America from her destructive fall. I'm not a misogynist.
No, sir. No, sir.
I'm not a homophobe. Don't be angry with me if I stand up on God's word. But I don't hate my brothers and sisters who have been exposed to the great deception, taking the word God is love, and I love my brother. In fact, we kissed when I came up here. And this is not queer. This is straight up love. So from tonight, go home. I'm not going to ask you to let them put you in jail, what they call Facebook jail. But we have a teaching about the maker of the white race. His followers were put in jail. I wonder, is it Facebook jail? And everywhere they looked, there was another one. Till all the jails got filled up. And that's when the president said, I think I better go and start a dialogue with Farrakhan. Because this false mess to give you civil rights and take it back. You owe us. And I'm here, by God's permission, to tell all of you what justice looks like. It's not a white woman, a TV show, and a nice car, and a nice home. I got all of that too. But I ain't robbed nobody.
That's right.
I love you. I love you because God loves you and wants to free you from the grip of Satan, that we may build a righteous world. And Father Pfleger will be in that righteous world. You can believe it. He's a true servant of Jesus the Christ. Thank you for listening.
So I wanted to show you something here. This he's referring to when he said he was kissing. This he's referring to. Now I showed this to one of those Negro butts over there. Oh, that's Photoshop. I wouldn't do anything like that. Not Photoshop. It ain't queer. Kiss me in the mouth. And he's a fool. Daddy Flager would be in hell with him. I hate all devils. Synagogue of Satan. So you can call me anti-Semitic, you call me whatever you want to call me. Anybody that was against us, that tormented us, that raped us, that terrorized us. Anybody had a hand in it, I hate them. So if you got a problem with that, fine. I don't love none of them. You that dumbass Jesus Christ shit, that don't apply to me. I don't love my enemies. That's a lie anyway. If you love your enemies, then why would your friend want to be your friend then? You love me just as much, man. Them, why hell I should be your friend? I might as well be an enemy. Kick your ass, you love me more. Because basically I tell you, the more they oppress you, the more you should love them. So if I want you to really love me, I should be kicking your ass all the time. I should really hate you. You're stupid. No, your daddy Flager gonna be in hell with you. Period. Master Muhammad said 1% evil. 1%, not 99.9, all of them. They cannot be, what's the word to use? Transformed. Cannot be. Reformed, rather. So it must be removed, totally. So Farrakhan knows best, though, right? You would catch Elijah Muhammad, this would have been total, And you tell me he's representing Elijah Muhammad? I was there. This would never played. You think Malcolm had a problem? Yeah. Malcolm would never went that far. That's why they got rid of Brother Khalid. He made it clear they're all evil, and he hated every one of them. That's what Elijah taught. That's Master Muhammad taught. Why? That's right. Because he's one of them. Let's look at the next one. Who is that? That's his daddy. Now Google it. I didn't put it out there. Google it. It shows a picture of his daddy. That's his dad. Don't it look alike? You know, he claims he's the Messiah. Where's his nappy hair? He got hair just like his daddy. Did that get through your brain? You use a calculator for that one? But he's the Messiah. Dark skin, woolly hair. That's what he look like. That's not Master Muhammad either. The fact that it doesn't get through to your brain is that you don't either have one or you're too damn ignorant to use it. And so we don't want you. We're not trying to save you. We don't want you. Farrakhan doing a good job because he's attracting you so we don't have to bother. Time comes, we have to go looking for you because we know where you at. You right up Farrakhan's ass. That's where you are. We don't have to go looking for you. And we don't want to get too close anyway. This is so. No, this is so clear, so simple. It never been as clear, as simple as this in all of history. Prophet Muhammad didn't have it as simple, as easy as this. The message from the Quran is not easy and simple as this. It says some verses decisive and some allegorical. Elijah Muhammad didn't have as clear as this. And this is totally clear, totally. And the villain It's no mask on him. The mask to pull off is clear. He got a big sign saying, I'm the villain. I'm son of perdition. You know, they say, the son of perdition says, be not deceived. Be not deceived. Now, they say it over and over again. Look at it. So, be not deceived. So, in other words, if someone's telling you other than what I'm about to tell you, they're deceiving you. Be not deceived. The falling away will come first. That's what they say. That's the point. And then the male of sin will be exposed. He was sitting in the temple of God. Remember, it said temple, not synagogue, not church, not mosque, not masjid. So it'd be a temple. Who got temple? Elijah Muhammad. He was in that temple, declared himself as God, as the Christ. Ooh, be not deceived, but the fall would come first, and then that would happen. Now, Farrakhan, he got a different take on that. Because he exposed the synagogue of Satan, right? He says a whole lot of people, it's only one person. Some perdition is just one individual. But he said, oh, synagogue exposed, now they're falling away. He just told you just the opposite. And they just told you, if anybody tell you that, they're deceiving you. This stuff is so clear, so simple. He tell you, oh, now I'm exposed the synagogue of Satan, now it's falling away. They're falling away. It says, anybody tell you that the fall will come, that fall will come afterwards, they're deceiving you. It said the fall will come first. That means the nation of Islam fell because they destroyed it. Him and Wallace destroyed it. And then he said in Elijah's seat, calling himself to Christ. Be not deceived. So, but if you are deceived, that means you don't love truth. It says, if you don't love because you deceive, only reason you're deceived, as that's what it says, because you don't love the truth. You just love your head up Farrakhan's ass. He said that brown stuff is honey. He said honey must be honey. It tastes funny. It tastes funny, but it rhymes with honey. So he said it tastes funny, but he said honey, and funny rhymes with honey, so it must be honey. So give me some more of it. But now I got a problem. See? Because they got to pull his head out of his ass to get it out the bag. Because he's putting shit in the bag now. Boy, you know, this is coming down. When this goes down, it says those people with him will receive the most grievous chastisement. And they deserve it. Why? Because they will have no excuse. Because just ask one question. Show me one verse. Just show me one verse in the Quran or the Bible that verifies anything that you said about Farrakhan. Just show me one verse. One. And you can walk. You can go to hereafter. Just one verse. They can't. That's why they don't collect the $5,000 either. There's daddy. Birds of clock. Rip his daddy, according to him. Let's move on. You want to pick up this and next one. Watch this next one here. Technical issue here, brothers and sisters. Hold on. I had a problem, brothers and sisters, at times. When they can frustrate this message. Not gonna work, but can't blame for trying. Sorry, you don't want to play this for some reason.
Louis Farrakhan suspects that his father may have been Jewish. At least that's what he tells Henry Louis Gates Jr. in the current issue of the New Yorker magazine. Speaking of his father's white Portuguese parents, the Nation of Islam leader said, "I'm going to tell you something. You really want to know what I think? I think they were members of the Jewish community." He added, "I believe that in my blood, and not in a bad way. Because when I was a little boy I used to love listening to the Jewish cantors in Boston. They had a program, and every week I would listen. I was struck by the cantor, and I've always loved the way they sing or recite the Torah." Gates, citing an academic source, says Farrakhan's assertion about his lineage is highly probable given that nearly all people of Iberian descent in Jamaica and Barbados are of Sephardic Jewish ancestry. Farrakhan was born in 1933, the son of May Clark, who was from Barbados. He was named Gene after his father, a light-skinned man with straight hair from Jamaica. His father, Gates writes, was a philanderer whom the family rarely saw. "If in my lineage there are Jews, I would hope that in the end, before my life is over, I not only will have rendered a service to my own beloved community of black people but will also have rendered a service to the Jewish community," Farrakhan was quoted as saying. In the interview with Gates, which reportedly lasted 9 hours, the Nation of Islam leader also made reference to wise Jews who plan evil, the international conspiracy of Jewish bankers and overwhelming Jewish complicity in the slave trade. Jewish groups expressed outrage over Farrakhan's latest public statements. Farrakhan's effort to make it appear that he is merely criticizing the evil he finds in his own Jewish antecedents is a reflection of the bizarre and ludicrous nature of his entire behavior towards Jews, Phil Baum, executive director of the American Jewish Congress, said in a statement. Meanwhile, a planned protest against the Anti-Defamation League of B'nai B'rith fizzled last week when Washington, D.C.
That's how it feels about you, brothers and sisters. When it feels about devils, that's how it feels about you. The ones that take care of them, the sisters that put food on this table, you pimping them. I'm not doing fundraisers. I'm never did no such thing. They can't get the males do anything. But I'm not doing fundraisers, pimping them. You're multi-millionaire. You don't have a business or anything. By the Nation of Islam. Listen to this. First, something wrong here.
I believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Wadafuddin and I have had disagreement. But his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent. When the Muslims were alive, I'll say it again. When the Muslims were alive, you dead as hell now on both sides.
Yes, sir, brother Minister. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. That's real, brother Minister.
Both sides.
That's real.
Wake us up, dear Apostle.
When we was alive, we set up schools.
That's right.
When we were alive, we had supermarkets.
That's right.
We owned buildings. We owned farmland. We were busy doing something, hiring our people. Well, I'm telling the Muslims, damn it, if you don't come alive, you will die like you are. And I will say, thank you, Allah, because if they're not doing nothing on top of the earth, let the worms eat their ass.
Translation. You ain't putting enough steaks on my plate. Enough money in my pocket. So I pray Allah, you want to eat your ass. Both sides, male and female. These people that made him rich, people that licking his ass. See, that's what he got for them. But he bypassed the point. He's the one, the reason they're dead. Because him and Wallace killed the Nation of Islam, destroyed it, got rid of the name, liquidated all the assets, and put the money in their pockets, and left the believers with nothing. He admits it, left with nothing. He didn't stand for the believers. He went with the family, and they took all the assets and everything else, and then he took it and ran away, left the believers stranded with nothing. When the wars came, that nigga ran. Ran away. You're gonna try to get back on stage to be a calypso dancer. Tell him lie, Farrakhan. Sue me. $5,000. If anything I just said was a lie. That's who he is. And then when he ran out of money, then I didn't get to him. This Kushmir, you know who Kushmir was? He was a Wallace follower. The reason they went and got Farrakhan because they couldn't make any money off of Wallace. Wallace said, you want to be imam? He had his masjids. Okay, you go to get a job, and on Friday you come to do your prayers stuff, right? Run the prayer. You couldn't make any money with him. So they bring Farrakhan back, try to set up some kind of Nation of Islam again, and then they get money as ministers and what they get money for. And pimp the sisters, because they don't want to produce the money for them. Who prints their paper? The synagogue of Satan. We print our own paper. Because I was a foreman, night foreman in Muhammad Speaks newspaper. We print our own paper. He ain't reproduced nothing. He ain't revived Nation of Islam at all. They destroyed when Nation was alive. Who killed it? Who killed it? Farrakhan. Well, pray Allah, I'm going to eat your ass. But for America, ooh, I love America. I don't go nowhere. I love America. Allah, please save America. Allah, please save America. I don't know if I'm going around. I don't go any place. I love America. Allah, please save America. But eat that ass. Them niggas over there eat the ass. But the white folks, but the niggas eat the ass over there. You see it? That photoshopped? That was, Allah, please. I'm on my knees, Allah, please. I pray Allah help America. But for y'all, I pray Allah, well, beat your ass. That clear enough for you? Hold on, bro. I think I'm out of sequence here. Check this. See what I got here. This. Where am I here? This, debate, did that one. Right. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, some got to sync. Oh, I see what happened. Hold on. No. Here. Here. Okay, something's wrong here, bro. Just let me give it a second to figure this out. That's this. Right. Okay. Hmm. What's up? Here. Okay. Well, something happened. I don't know what happened. Hmm. That's weird. Mhm. Okay. Let's move on. Something happened. It just got messed out. Anyway, move on. Okay, bro. Since I had a little technical issue here, somehow part of my presentation got deleted. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, oh, I think. Oh, okay. I know what happened. I got it. Okay. See here, this Farrakhan. See, he's shitting on Elijah Muhammad, Master Muhammad. Hold on. Hold on for a second. Here we go again. Interruption. See, brothers and sisters. Okay. See here. Now, See, now prove me wrong. This is Farrakhan. What he offering you is shit in Scientology. See, Scientologists Catholicism 2.0. But he sprayed Elijah Muhammad's sin of Elijah over it. See? They track you. It's bait. So when you get there, what you get is, when they be talking about, oh, how much Farrakhan helped them and healed them, they're talking about Scientology. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Go over there. I've been over there. What I talk about is L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology. And we be talking on their websites about, oh, how Farrakhan healed them with Scientology. And if you go on their so-called video, audio calls, right? Because you get a number, you can get on their audio calls. All they talk about is Ron Hubbard. Because I was on one of them, and I brought somebody large, and they muted me twice. They muted me immediately. Muted by Elijah Muhammad. Ron Hubbard. So you get shit and Scientology from them. But they spray Elijah, oh, Elijah. And if all you got to do is look at what they say. It doesn't, you can't find nothing where Elijah, that connects to Elijah anywhere. Look at Message of the Black Man, How to Live, Fall of America, Savior Has Arrived, Muhammad Speak newspapers, his videos, and nothing supports that crap that he's saying. None of it. But he tells you that's the bait to draw you in. Because remember, they want the nation of Islam destroyed because that's where the source of the light comes from, to raise your side people. That's why it says Suleiman has to come. People set in dark in the great light. He has to come there and ignite them again, and so he can go out. Remember Mark? They was walking around, their mind was gone, beating themselves. He had to come and get their mind back and then send them back to the rest of the people. That's the target. You tell me I'm wrong. Come get your $5,000. See, fragrance of Elijah on this shit. So you get the smell, you get the look, texture, but underneath it, this is what you get: shit in Scientology. Understand? Yeah, shitting on them. Look at the lessons. Let's correspond to any of this. Elijah Muhammad taught us about anything he's taught. He's shitting on all of that because he's owned by the devils. The devil itself. Demon, son of perdition. Let's look at this.
Come on. Let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass, that, when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies, and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. They have said, come, and let's wipe them out as a nation, so that the name of Israel will no longer be remembered.
So what's happening here, brothers and sisters? They say, people without a vision perish. The nation without a vision perish. What vision you have of Farrakhan? What vision you have of Farrakhan? See, Elijah Muhammad gave you a vision. We was going to return home. After 20 years, Pharaoh, let my people go. We will return home to Arabia. That's what it says, the covenant. Remember the messenger? They never mention the messenger of the covenant, do they? They ever mention Joshua? It's right there in Malachi. They mention Elijah. They mention him. Look at Exodus. They mention Elijah, Moses, and Farrakhan. But then it stops right there. It stops right there. What about the rest of it? What about in Malachi? What about the ones cursed with a curse, that's robbing the nation? Who is that one? Never mention that one, do they? And what about the messenger of the covenant? Why don't mention that? It said in the beginning, those who believe in part of the book, disbelieve in the other. So what about the rest of it? The Malachi, who is this messenger of the covenant? They never mention him. Who is the one that's robbing the nation, that's cursed with a curse? Never mention that one either, just Elijah, and that's it. But Elijah was prepared a way for someone, but they never mentioned him. Why never mention it? It's right there. Why never mention the mention of the covenant? What? Because they don't mention the covenant either. What's the covenant? The covenant returns home after 40 years. They mention the part about where we be here enslaved. It was our fault. They mention that part of 40 years, but the next verse, they never mention it. They return home. In fact, they go further than they call God a liar, so you ain't going nowhere. It's right there. Tell them I'm lying. Come and get your $5,000. Tell them I'm lying. Why don't we mention it? Why don't they mention Joshua? The torch didn't get past to Aaron. Why? Because Aaron died in the wilderness. Because people slaughtered. Joshua's the one. That's the real Jesus. That's the real Messiah that takes you home. The wool hair and dark skin. They broke the 7 seals. Brothers and sisters.
What Hagee said here, this is Christina Amanpour. I think that's her name. Yeah, Christina Amanpour. Listen to what he said about why we have to have this relationship with Israel, and he gives the biblical reason.
You said God's foreign policy statement?
Yes.
God has foreign policy statements?
Absolutely.
And his is pro-Israel?
Concerning the Jewish people, that's his foreign policy statement.
Hagee is a Zionist, a Christian Zionist.
A Christian Zionist is someone that believes that the Bible supports Israel. God begins in the foreign policy statement of Israel in Genesis 12:3, saying, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you.
We're going to look at that full statement. Okay? So Hagee is saying that U.S. foreign policy is because of a biblical scripture. That is Genesis 12. Let's take a look at Genesis 12. We're learning today. Class is in session. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Make this a little bit bigger for the peeps in the back. Based. So Genesis 12. This is what he's referring to. The Lord had said to Abraham, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. Couple of things. Let's break this down into 3 parts. Number 1, the United States has separation of church and state. So even if you do believe this, why is the U.S. government implementing foreign policy based on a biblical scripture? There's that. 2, let's say that this is true. And we're going to get into who wrote all this. We'll get to that in a second. Let's say that this is true, okay? That this is what he said to Abraham. One of the other things that he said is, I will call you Israel, right? Like the people who follow you. Those are the followers of Abraham. But it really wasn't supposed to be a physical place. But for shits and giggles, let's say it is a physical place. If it is a physical place, and if it is true that the Palestinian people are the indigenous people, then that would mean that this physical place that is spoken of in the Bible is for the Palestinian people, not for people coming from Poland, Ukraine, Russia, New Jersey, if it is, you believe it's a physical place. 3, there are different interpretations of the Bible. So we can look at this and we can interpret this into different things.
Okay, bro, so I'm about to close in a second, few minutes, but remember, people out of vision perish. So Elijah Muhammad gave us a vision, which is Abrahamic covenant, right? Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan took it away, because that was, we was going to return home. Elijah Muhammad said, we're fools to stay here. Master Muhammad said, his purpose, come here, return us back home. and I'm supposed to turn us back home, back to our fathers. But Farrakhan said, we're not going anywhere. So he called both my liars. He said he loved here, right? Because he's one of them, devils begin with. And so now we have, where's your vision with Farrakhan? You have no vision. Farrakhan, now that Farrakhan's on deathbed, you don't have anybody coming after Farrakhan. But you got Elijah and Farrakhan. You don't have, you said nobody's coming after Farrakhan. He's supposed to get across the river. You said no one's coming after him. So what, he's going to be on the mother plane? He's going to be, what's iPhone? Talking to Ishmael? See, so I have no vision. We stay here, we're not going anywhere. Going to stay, stay on the master. See? So that's how people all over the place. Elijah Muhammad gave a common vision. People unite under that vision. Vision unite people. The Hindus unite under Hinduism. The Orientals under Buddhism. Right? And the Christian under Christianity. That unites the people. So-called Judaism, see, that unites people. But we have no vision as a people. Our vision is we're supposed to be subordinate to the devils. We're supposed to be their slaves forever. We have no vision. We hate each other, hate ourselves because we're nothing. And that's why they say, let us cut them off being a nation, because they gave false vision. They set false Israel at 48 to cancel Elijah Muhammad's. Right? That applies to us. We spent 400 years here. We're Abraham's seed. And that clown you just talked to right there, Hagee, he knows that. He knows they're in trouble. He knows we see, but that's why they support false Israel, because they're at war with us and they don't want us to know it. Who do you think is planning against us? I say, let's plan. Who is this us planning against us? They know they got to eradicate us. So no, keep them niggas from realizing who they are. They put false Israel up there. So we have no vision. And Farrakhan supporting that nonsense, because you have no vision with him. You understand? And that's why they're doing these wars, because they got people convinced that the Bible replaced something else. It's called sealed Bible, because they say, Babylon's supposed to be Iraq. That's why it took down Iraq. Damascus is supposed to be Syria. That's why it took down Syria. Right? What's the other one? Lebanon. See? Libya. So that's because they're saying these are built, right? They got people convinced that, and that's all wrong. Sealed Bible. If it's sealed, that means you don't know what the hell it's saying. Let's look at the resistance. I think I'm going to close after this, brothers and sisters. Resistance. Watch this. Now remember, the light says people sit in darkness. Say, what's the darkness? That's confusion. They said in darkness, they said the great light. Who said it? Who's going to receive the great light? The name of Islam. That means it's sitting in darkness right now. You can't figure it out now. You need a calculator again? Because Farrakhan's the darkness. They receive a great light. Have they seen light there now? Farrakhan told, well, if he is the light just went out, didn't it? Because he said, God told him, shut up. So if he is the light went out, didn't it? They receive a great light because the darkness him. He's the darkness. And so light has heat in it. And light has resonance. Because you put light on something, and the longer the light's down, the hotter that thing that hits, hotter it gets. That's resonance. See, if you leave it on, you set the thing on fire, you put light tense enough, that's where lasers are. The heat keeps building up, building up, building up. So if you try to block the light, you got to be able to handle the heat that comes with that light. If the light keeps going, 35 years, keep going, that gets more heat. The more light, the more heat. Heat keeps building up, so you got to be able to handle the heat that you're trying to block from the light. You're trying to block the light, but you got to handle the heat that the light produces. Keep that in mind. So here is Farrakhan. He got the day of Islam in darkness. He's trying to block the light, angel light. See? Keep him in darkness. It's bullshit. See? The demons as well as the saints. Chaff as well as the wheat. See, now it's heating up. Lights is going. The light has heat in it. It's heating up. Now it's catching on fire. He's burning Farrakhan's ass. Trying to hold it back. That said, Lord will consume with the spirit of his mouth and destroy the brightness of his coming. Farrakhan being sued. He has hardly anybody over there now. It was so-called Mean Man March. I mean, out of those people's his, less than 10,000. That's less than 1%. He was so great, and everything was so inspiring. By how come none of those people? He had actually less followers as so-called Mean Man March than he had before. Because I just walked away from that tone shit. What I got tone for? He had less followers after so-called Mean Man March, and that's why second was a total flop. And he had women and children come and still couldn't get nowhere near a million. And plus, that coward, no good ass, didn't show up himself. He did a video call talking about LGBT family. Whatever they call it. He didn't show up. Did a video thing. They never talked about the second one, did they? That means the first one, he took credit for the first one when 90% of people there, 99% of people there was from the churches. The preachers helped do that, but he took all credit for us. They didn't support him the second time. See, so it's okay, you did this? I told you to do it. It's all your thing. Okay, you do it by yourself this time. See what God does for you on this one. And nobody showed up. See? So they don't talk about the second one. They talk about it all, do they? And they haven't had any more since then. And then they said, oh, well, last week supposed to anniversary, said the week before, let's have this place full. Let's have everything else. And nobody showed up. They said the first floor was almost empty. And he said the people that was there was mostly because that preacher that they came and he brought his people. He said they dried up, who the Lord consumed with spirit of his mouth and destroyed. So Farrakhan in his deathbed, and his whole thing is being destroyed, and he can't stop it, they can't stop it, and it's hardly anybody there anymore. And so they're desperate over there. Desperate. Let's keep going. Now Farrakhan's on fire, trying to hold that light back. Getting hot. Burn his ass. Burn your ass too. With your head, stir his ass. Can't you feel the heat? Burn your head. Burn your hair off your head. It's hot in Farrakhan's ass, ain't it? It's hot up there. Boy, now it stink, but it's hot too. Man, damn it. Now it's stinking up here, but it's hot too. Right? There it is. Burn his ass up and burn through, and then light comes on. That's about to happen, brothers and sisters. It's happening right now. A few more days, not years. A few more days. Okay, I'm going to close out there, brothers and sisters. I'm close here. Y'all just, hey, like I said, going the wrong way, keep going. Where did it say in Revelation chapter 22? Right. Let me draw it up real quick. Hold on. Put it exactly. Okay, where it says it's a right, it's a lit translator, so it sounds like quirky, but this is what it says. This is what it says. It says, and this is chapter 22, right? And verse 11, and the doing unrighteously, those who are acting unrighteously, let them continue being unrighteous. And the filthy, let them continue being filthy. And let the righteous, let them be righteous, and holy, let them remain holy. Oh, it's separate. So if you are a fool, you want to be a nigger, continue to be that one. And it says in Thessalonians, Right? If you love falsehood, then they're going to give you more of it. Get strong delusion. Hey, I like pork. Okay, give us a pork chop. Give us a pig feet. Give us a pigtails. Give more of it. See, you got your own idea about God. It's totally wrong. If you want to go to wrong, he give you more of it. That's what it says. He said he gives strong delusions. He said if you say you messed up, he said if you don't love the truth, he didn't say he's going to make you love the truth. He said he's going to give you more of it. Strong delusions. Give you more bullshit. Me, man, farce. See? So I tell you right here, hey, if you're doing the right, see, it don't tell you this change. It says, no, I want you to continue like that. So we can identify you easily. Oh, they were Farrakhan. Boom. And we got to worry about him. We got to go looking for him. See? If you look at chapter 11, right? Chapter 22, verse 11. If you unrighteous, continue that way. If you filthy, continue being filthy. You got the wrong idea, brothers and sisters. Let's close out. I'm going to close the idea, brothers and sisters. You understand in a minute. But whether you understand the prophecy or not, that's your business. I don't know. Okay, let's go on. Here you go, brothers and sisters. I'm going. Assalamu alaikum.
We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Well, you heard that. Donald Trump is a believer in eugenics. He believes that white people are the superior race. And inner city is code for black people. And he believes black people cannot now work on the farms. I guess they're not good enough for that. So Hispanic people can do it because they have the backs for it. This is what this man is saying out loud in interviews. He is a racist. It's been proven time and time again. The man had Mein Kampf on his bedside table that he would read at night. Enough to let you know where he stands on that. Just more outrageous, racist things from Donald Trump. They want to arrest those who can do the farm work. Well, until their backs give out, and then he'll probably ship them to El Salvador or some other country. Just more vile statements from the president and let you know where he stands.
When they were arresting people for praying outside of abortion clinics. I do think the UK, and I say this as, someone who is half English, I think it's reached, or it is quickly reaching a point where democratic reforms are going to be pretty tough because of the demographic change. And that, of course, the point of importing all these people is to overwhelm the people who live there who disapprove of the program. So you don't have to care what they think because you just bring in new people, and their will becomes all that matters. And so I don't think you're going to fix these things through elections at some point, probably pretty soon. And I just worry a place like the UK, Canada is another, a bunch of different countries in the West are at the point where they're literally revolutionary. They are poised for revolution. And as someone who really doesn't support revolution and hates violence and hates civil war above all, I'm worried about that. I don't see how this is fixed. Starmer, who's, he's just an instrument of larger forces, but he's a poisonous character, obviously, who's really hurt your country. He's in there for 4 more years? And so you wonder, people are going to start to get really radical in a scary way. Like, I think this is going to happen. And the people in charge don't seem to care.
Well, you're already seeing it. You are seeing the anger beginning to manifest itself, and I completely understand the anger. I don't, like you, I abhor any form of violence, but I do understand the anger when you have, Keir Starmer campaigned, I'm going to smash the gangs that allow these little boats to come over the channel, delivering tens of thousands of people illegally into the country. And they then get put into these so-called asylum hotels where they're given a pretty good lifestyle, certainly a far better lifestyle than many people really struggling at the moment in the UK. And of course, far from smashing the gangs, it turned out yesterday that he's smashing new records for the number of people coming in illegally on the boats. Of course. It's out of control. And the British public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly?
Public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly? You'd really have to force a lot of people to go back to their countries of origin, millions of people, and you need to do it really soon. And are they actually willing to do that? I don't know, but these are existential questions that we have been browbeat into ignoring for decades. But the question is, like, is Ireland Ireland? If it's majority non-Irish, oh, shut up, they're Irish. No, they're actually not Irish. Same with the UK, same with England, Scotland, Wales. Like, it's all changing so fast. Nothing like this has ever happened in all of history, except when, say, the Mongols swept across the steppe and raped everybody. Like, that was true demographic change on this scale. But even that wasn't as profound as what we're seeing in every white country around the world. I would say the West, but Australia and New Zealand also. So, like, what is that? Now, my brain is not big enough to understand what that is. I have a lot of theories about it, but I don't know if they're true. All I know is what the numbers are, and that's real, and no one feels that he can say it. Everyone's like, oh, well, if that were happening in China or India or Malaysia or Senegal, it doesn't matter. You'd be like, what the hell is that? Like, the population's totally different. Look at graduation. Pick, King's College Law School, and look at the graduation picture for the last 30 years. Who's in it? Just, like, let your eyes tell you the truth for once. Like, this is a total change in population. Is it better? Is it worse? Can't have that conversation. Who's pushing this? Does the population want it? The population clearly doesn't want it. There's no polling that's meaningful on the subject. I mean, there's no referendum on it. You don't get to decide. You've got no voice in it, other than you get to go to jail if you complain loudly enough about it. What is this? I think it's the biggest and darkest thing that has happened in the last 1,000 years, for sure. And I think it's leading somewhere really, really bad. It's not happening by accident, that's obvious, because it's only happening in white countries.
I mean, I think that...
Oh, shut up, white supremacist. Well, in fact, I'm not a white supremacist.
Well,
I'm just noticing what the hell's going on.
I think most people I've spoken to about this in the UK, most people have always viewed the UK to be a very tolerant, multicultural, cosmopolitan place to live. That's why so many people want to come here. And people have no problem with that. And it's been very successful for a long period of time.
But it's multicultural? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law... What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law every bit as valid as English common?
No, people don't want Sharia law here. No.
A lot of people do. Wait, but hold on. I don't know what you mean. Multiculturalism itself is the lie designed to subvert a society. No, a society has a culture. You can argue about what it is or ought to be. It's not necessarily the same as race. It's connected to race, but it's not the same. People from different races can buy into your culture. That was kind of the beauty of the West. But a multicultural society is not sustainable. There's never been such a thing.
Your society is
one
about
culture will dominate.
Hang on, Tucker. Surely the United States of America, given the very way it was created, is the epitome of a multicultural society. And my point I was going to make to you was...
It's absolutely not. No. It's a multiracial society.
Yeah.
Though it was not actually a multiracial society up until pretty recent. It was just like 90% white for most of its existence, but whatever. But you did have different peoples, you had different religions. That was all totally fine, but there was one culture, as American culture. There's no such thing as a multicultural society. It's not sustainable. One culture will overwhelm the other. Again, it's not the same as race. It's not identical to race. It's connected, but it's not the same. But multiculturalism is by definition insane. No, it's never happened. It never will happen. One culture will predominate. It will impose its values on everybody else. I mean, the gay thing, which was not a thing 40 years ago, gay was a slur, all of a sudden becomes multiculture there. There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 27 amendments? Right, so your own values, as determined by the Founding Fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's
determined by the Founding Fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So those values can evolve.
There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 27 amendments? Right, so your own values, as determined by the Founding Fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. Natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's multicultural, we can all live and have radically different values, that's just not true. It's never been true. It never will be true. So you're having one culture, one worldview predominate over another and dominate and suppress all dissent. That's just what it is, dude. Let's be honest.
I would point to the United States of America and the United Kingdom as two shining examples, albeit not completely without their flaws, but shining examples of places that are deemed by the rest of the world. I certainly feel that about my country.
Well, I certainly think that inherent in Christianity is the notion of tolerance, and that draws from a core Christian concept, which is free will. You cannot force someone to convert. There's never been conversion by the sword in Christianity. People decide to believe in it. And so that is central to the religion, therefore it's been central to the society. Western civilization is Christian civilization. And so we call that tolerance. It's a respect for your inherent God-given right to make a choice about what you believe. Okay, so of course, that's always been a feature. My only point is, a society has a commonly agreed upon set of beliefs, rules, and laws that are the definition of the society itself. That's what a society is. So you can't have competing. You can't have, gay world and Sharia world living co-equally in a society. That does not happen. It will never happen. You have to pick one. Are we the Sharia society? Are we the party time gay rights society? Like, which one? And you can't face that reality, so you're just sort of snoozing along until the inevitable point where you're going to wake up and be like, my values have no bearing on what our society is anymore, because we've been invaded by other people with a totally different worldview, and they're now in charge. And that day is coming very soon for your country, and maybe it'll improve it. I don't think the UK could be a lot worse than it already is. It's this kind of disgusting, sad, self-hating, suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half-English person, but that day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architect. That's a choice that we're all going to face. Suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half-English. That day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architects of mass migration. Sorry.
I would question your characterization as my country as a sad, disgusting, what's the rest of it, suicidal nation. I feel none of those things. I feel very happy to be in the United Kingdom, and I feel that there are lots of very happy.
Our system, the Western system, which is very distinct from the Eastern system, very distinct, and it's distinct on this one precise point, we believe and have always believed since this country was founded, since your country became, not a pure monarchy, but even when it was a pure monarchy, the belief in the West, because of Christianity, was the worst thing you can do is punish the innocent. That's the worst thing you can do. That's worse than not punishing the guilty. And we often said that to each other. We no longer say that because there is a pretty concerted effort to blur the meaning of these terms. But I'm not going to be deterred from defining words precisely. Terror is murdering people, killing people, punishing people who committed no crime. Period.
So when the Israeli government says it has repeatedly that even though over 20,000 completely innocent children are believed to have died in their response to what Hamas did on October the 7th at the hands of the IDF, there are many on the pro-Palestinian side who say that Israel is behaving like terrorists too in the way that they have gone about conducting this war. Would you go as far as to say that?
One of the things that I really object to now is this relentless focus on Israel, which, by the way, is a foreign country that I have nothing to do with.
We've done this before. Now, maybe today things are different, and we will end up living in a nation that is sharply divided and may ultimately produce something else. But I'm an American. I love my country. I want to see it stay together. I'm interested in social cohesion, which means that I think our laws, customs, and culture have to be dominant. We can accept some diversity on the edges, but not fundamental division. I think we're in a state of fundamental division. So when I bring up Sharia law, I've sat in many discussions with many people that said, well, I don't care what people look like, but I do care about Sharia law, and I don't want that practiced anywhere near my family or in my country. And that's something you should be aware of. So the notion that someone can come here and say, well, that's part of my religion and we're going to abide by Sharia law, they're going to find serious resistance and opposition in the country.
And as I clarified,
It's because it matters. It's this thing we call societal cohesion. Nations do not exist on their own. They have a core population. Our core population from the very beginning was always at least 80% European and Christian and about 15 to 20% African. But when you start bringing in huge numbers, millions, who are fundamentally different from the core population, you are going to get violence, anger, and conflict. How many times have you heard people say, if you bring people in from the developing world, what do you get? The developing world. And now we've got that. You can't bring in hundreds of thousands of people from Somalia, plant them, of all places, in Minnesota, and then be shocked that, no, they're not Americans. They're not really interested in being Americans. They're foreigners living on American soil. Nobody wants to say that publicly. If you do, oh, well, you're a racist. Well, you know, the world is full of racists. The real war that's going to decide our fate is not going to be fought anywhere overseas. It's going to be fought right here inside the United States. Are we going to survive as a republic, as an English-speaking republic that rests on the foundations of Western civilization? Or are we going to become something else?
One point that is
Constitution was completed in 1789. I think we had 5 million people living in the 13 British colonies. We were 90% white, that is excluding the Africans that were in the country who had been brought here as slaves. But we were 90% white. We were 90% Protestant. And this may be hard for you to believe, but the people that wrote that were trying to protect all of the Protestant sects from a state church on the model of the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church. That's one of the reasons it was almost 100 years or more after that before people began to finally accept Catholicism as a religion, because it was viewed as political power. My point to you is the Constitution is outdated. The way we are governed is outdated. It has to be re-examined. Nobody in 1789 imagined that anybody would come to the United States except another lunatic, religious fanatical Protestant who hated the Church of England. That's what people feared. That's what they thought of. The Constitution that we have does many good things, but I would argue that the Bill of Rights is ultimately more important. The Bill of Rights is vital and essential, and that needs to be defended. But the Constitution and the way we govern and the things that we're doing, it's out of date. It doesn't fit our needs. And that's back to my comment on something given has no value. You have to earn it. And we haven't made anybody earn their place in this country. I'm talking about people like me that have been here forever. My first ancestor stepped off the boat in 1681. So we've got to get back to some notion of national service, because national service promotes national integration. It addresses some of these problems that you're discussing. Now, I know that you may not want to conform and may not want to be as I am, but I'm an American and nobody questions that. Nobody ever will. If you don't want to stand out and be questioned, then I suggest that you change your appearance, because I don't think it's life or death for you to wear what you wear.
I think this conversation,
it's not fine, because it's leading to violence that could have otherwise been avoided. You see, every great nation, every large nation can always accept some number of people into its ranks that are different from them. It's always been the case. But if you suddenly import millions, which is what's happened here and happened in Europe, then you threaten the core gene pool. What I'm trying to tell you is there's a problem. And we can all pretend that there isn't, and you can insist there isn't, but that's the view. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to address it truthfully and openly. Stop pretending it's not a problem. It's a problem.
I mean, what's also a problem is white supremacy, and that's
No, because you're saying you're different, you're going to remain different, And you don't think that if that's not compatible with being an American, then the hell with it. That's what you're going to do.
Well, then what do you make then of, white American people who convert, let's say, to Islam and choose to cover? Are they not American anymore?
Listen, if they want to do that, that's obviously their business. I don't know how many are out there that do that. I think again, it's ill-advised. I think you have to hold the society together. There has to be an agreement on certain things, customs, culture, way of life. And unfortunately, if you're going to practice rigidly a brand of Islam that demands certain things, and this is why I asked right off the bat, do you support Sharia law?
I'm a Muslim. What being a Muslim means is I follow the guidelines of my religion, which is a peaceful.
Does your religion dictate to you Sharia law?
My religion dictates to me to be a good human being, to be good to my neighbors, to
that the most powerful force in today's Republican Party is represented by what Charlie Kirk said. It is this drive to make America a white Christian nation. I got to tell you, this is what they say privately. This is now what they say publicly. This is what Charlie Kirk said publicly.
And Joe, again, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because you know these people very, very well. Yeah. You said it yourself. You were one of the strongest voices. You were one of the folks who understood the incendiary language when you were in Congress, when you had your radio show, and how people loved when you did it. And then when you chose to apologize for that and turn away from it, oh my God, they literally have just tried to destroy you because of that.
Yeah, again, you know the deal, Roland, right? I came out publicly against Trump 7 years. For 7 years, I put up with death threats on a regular basis. Nobody is welcome in that party unless you bow down to what this force is, this MAGA force. And again, look, there have been some people on the left who've celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder. Shame on them, be better people. But this is much worse, Roland, what my former friends are doing on the right, because they are turning this into a holy war. When you say we declare war on the left because of what some 22-year-old young guy did in Utah, and then you declare war on the whole left, that's a lot worse than celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder, because that's dishonest, but that's also inciting hate and violence. And Roland, look, Trump's an idiot. So yeah, Trump says the left, the problem in the country is the left. J.D. Vance is not an idiot. What did J.D. Vance say today, right? He was subbing for Charlie Kirk on his radio show, and he spent the entire show going after the left, going after them, they, them. Man, Democrats need to wake up, Roland. This is a really serious deal by my former colleagues. The stuff that I hear privately from them right now, Roland, for the last 5 days, they want to go to war. This is a holy war.
Oh, it absolutely is. And what really jumps out at me on this very thing here, Joe, and I've been saying this, I played the speech 2 weeks ago that mainstream media just ignored, of Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt, who gave a speech at NatCon, Peter Thiel's group, where he literally gave a white nationalist speech, where he said our ancestors fought for this country to be our yours and no one else. He was talking about white people. He was basically saying if you are black, Latino, Asian American, or even Native American, America is not for you. And folks just ignored it. And so people need to understand, again, what they're saying, why they're saying it. And yes, there are many evangelicals, any very conservative white Christians who are pushing this as well. And you nailed it. They want a holy war. They want a race war. They want this to be a white country. It is clear as day.
And Roland, really important point. Charlie Kirk at only 31, the impact he had because he was one of the most successful pushers of this white Christian nationalistic idea. And so I think that's why all of his defenders are out there so strenuously denying he said anything divisive, because they know if you really go through Charlie Kirk's public record, everything he said about people of color and black women and Muslims and gays and transgenders, if people took the time to go through all of that, and that was put out for average people to see, they'd be blown away by it. That's why his defenders are like supercharged right now. They don't want that record to be seen.
Today, you mentioned, and I mentioned as well, Vice President J.D. Vance sitting to do his show. And listen to this man just blatantly lie, Joe. Play it.
I read a story in The Nation magazine about my dear friend, Charlie Kirk. Now, The Nation isn't a fringe blog. It's a well-funded, well-respected magazine whose publishing history goes back to the American Civil War. George Soros's Open Society Foundation funds this magazine, as does the Ford Foundation and many other wealthy titans of the American progressive movement. The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words. He made an argument against affirmative action as a policy. He criticized a specific Supreme Court justice as an individual. He never said anything about black women as a group. He made an argument for judging people of all races and backgrounds by their own individual merits.
Bullshit.
Okay, Joe, this is actually what he said.
No, Roland, that's utter bullshit.
In fact, you know, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color.
All right, Joe. He literally said it. Not only that, Vance lied. Soros does not fund the nation. So he sat there and flat out lied.
And Roland, remind me, what's J.D. Vance's job? He's the vice president, and yet he had time today to do a radio show for a former right-wing podcaster. I mean, look what they're not even, Roland, they're not even subtle about it, what this White House is doing. They believe, man, the path to victory is fear, hate, and division. And that's what they're putting out there. That was Charlie Kirk literally going after 4 accomplished black women by saying they didn't have the brain power to get where they got. This is what he believed. And this is what MAGA believes. And that, again, Roland, broken record, that's why Charlie Kirk was so damn successful, why he had such a big audience.
Yeah, and not only that, you take Nick Fuentes, who's to the right of Charlie Kirk. The night of or the day after Kirk was shot and killed, Fuentes had 200,000 people watching him live. And so what you have this fervor. And so when I listen to Trump and Vance and all of these people talk about, how the left, they're indoctrinating. No, and you know this very well, the indoctrination. We've had people who formerly with Turning Point USA put out videos talking about how it was really this cult-like figure, this messianic figure, as they sort of set Kirk up as, and how they want them to follow that. And so that's what's going on here. These people are not trying to have open dialogue. And not only that, Joe, you take Trump, okay? Trump was very clear in saying he was not going to call Governor Tim Walz after those 4 folks were shot in Minnesota. 2 were killed, including former Speaker of the House and her husband. Now today he's saying, he never even heard of Melissa Hortman, and if the governor had asked him, he would have, of course, lowered the flags to have staff. I'm sorry, he's also lying. He knew about her. He knew about the shooting, but he was so arrogant that he said, 2 Democrats, a Democrat Speaker of the House shot and killed. Yeah, I don't care, but lower the flags to have staff with Charlie Kirk. Flies body on Air Force 2. Do a memorial service at the Kennedy Center. Do another one at the Arizona Cardinal Stadium. Give him the Medal of Freedom. And I'm telling you, they're going to give him a state funeral. That's what you're seeing right now. And then you got Peter Hegseth going after members of the military who said anything negative in the aftermath of his death. You've got Kirk supporters creating a database of people of every social media post, and then even Vance saying in the podcast, you call their employer. So the so-called free speech people all of a sudden are saying, if you say anything negative about Charlie Kirk after what took place last week, we're going to come after you, come after your job. I thought they hated cancel culture, Joe.
Yeah. Roland, I remember back in my right-wing radio days, I would come on every day, and there was always some story about some leftist group on a college campus that couldn't handle speech that made them uncomfortable
to say.
Roland, this is scary, and you and I are old enough, man, to remember huge figures in American history who were gunned down, struck down, military leaders, civil rights leaders. We are treating this 31-year-old podcaster, MAGA influencer, like he's Jesus Christ. So I come from the right. Why are my old colleagues and friends on the right doing this, Roland? Because the right wants a religious war. Let's just call it. They want a civil war. They want a holy war. That's why they're putting him up to be some Jesus-like martyr.
Absolutely. I mean, Glenn Beck literally came out and said he was a civil rights leader. Oh, my God, stop it. Stop it. I've seen people say, I've seen a lot of these videos, I'm leaving my church because my pastor did not mention him. This was a Christian warrior. And let's just be clear. You said it, white Christian nationalists. It's slaveholder religion. We heard a lot of this stuff during slavery, during Jim Crow, things along those lines. And this whole idea about, it was about debate. It was about, exchange of ideas. I mean, come on, let's just stop it. And so we see what's going on here. We see the games that are being played. And then what gets me, Joe, is this whole deal of, oh my God, the left, how they indoctrinate indoctrinated him, and the accused killer going to a university. The dude was at a university for 1 semester, Joe. You're trying to tell me that 1 semester at a mostly white institution in Mormon, Utah, which is not a liberal bastion, somehow just radicalize him? I mean, it really is showing folks of the hand they're trying to play.
Yeah, and I think even on top of that, Roland, I think it was like some technical school. So it wasn't some crazy liberal arts school for a semester. Look, cut through all the BS. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has publicly said that America should be a white Christian country. This is what animates my former party. Roland, you know me, right? Tea Party Hellraiser. I don't come from the left. I left the Republican Party when the Republican Party became MAGA. And my fellow Democrats and folks on the left need to understand, now these people are on the right. Now this is MAGA. MAGA now are the snowflakes. MAGA, Roland, they now need their safe spaces. It's funny, but it's not funny. And you're right about J.D. Vance, man. He just flat out lied. I mean, the last 30-year history of political violence in this country, the vast majority of it is right-wing. It always has been. And they put out this lie that it's only on the left. It's not even, Roland, a both sides problem between the left and the right. There is political violence on the left, but the vast majority is on the right, and they know that, and they're lying because they're trying to inflame their base. And Roland, I hear from their base every day, and let me tell you something, they are inflamed. I mean, they are ready to march and grab their you-know-what. This is a scary time.
It is, and folks need to understand what is certainly at stake. Joe Walsh, I appreciate you joining us on the show.
History of the cross, known by their works. What's the history of the cross? 500-year history of the cross. Murder, rape, destruction, deception, enslavement, burning, terrorizing. To maintain a slavery system, you must terrorize the people 24/7. They terrorize people from Africa and America for 400 years. Constant terror, 24/7, rape, murder. In the name of Jesus. This was Christians, not Buddhists, not Hindus. Christians, in the name of Jesus, where they said Jesus cursed black people, they call them Ham, cursed them to be slaves and persecuted forever. In the name of Jesus, raped our women incessantly pissed in our mouths, made us eat shit. And they took and tried to clean it up, not clean it up, but make it look more fashionable, I guess, by calling it chitlins. That's after slavery, of course, after so-called slavery. Because what was into it was not slavery. Look up slavery. Look up slavery. It does include murder, rape, terror. This is a Holocaust. And then now they try to downplay it. Oh, that was 40 years ago. No, it wasn't 40 years ago. I don't care if it was a million years ago. It was 40 years ago. It lasts for 400 years. And it's enduring today. They took everything away from the slaves. Everything. Their name, their culture, their families, their religion, their minds, everything. Fed their children to alligators as alligator bait. And then they talk about what's going on in Gaza when they did 1,000 times worse. What's going over in Gaza now is simply just a miniature version of what they did. What they did was far worse than what's going on in Gaza. Gaza is bad. It's genocide. What they did was far worse and much longer. That's the legacy of Christianity. Murder, rape, disease. They wiped out the native population with genocide and disease. Smallpox blankets, knowing they was full with disease. Herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea from sleep with animals. So-called common cold was not common. Didn't exist here on this side of the world until they brought it here. Murder, rape. When they was raping out women, there was a cross hanging from their neck. And again, they taught black, and this was God's will. God's will. The enslavement of our people. And they continue on even today. That's the legacy of Christianity, the cross. So where's your rap sheet? Every time they arrest one of our people, your rap sheet. What's your rap sheet? How are you going to judge people for murder when you're guilty of murder beyond imagination for hundreds of years? Hundreds of years. Theft. You stole this land and murdered its people. And you crushed the native people here. When the braves would go out hunting, you would come into the camps like cowards and kill the women and smash the children's brains out on the hooves of your horses. This is the legacy of Christianity. That's the legacy of it. The question is, if instead of Columbus coming here, Dracula came here, Beelzebub, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Satan, and they all came instead of Columbus, what could they have done that Columbus and those that followed him did? Satan is the God of this world. That's the God they're serving. They have known him by their works. What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? Where's the works of Christianity? Evil, deception, mischief, bloodshedding. It goes on today. And what's going on in Gaza, just reflection and microcosm of what was done here in America for hundreds of years. Raped out women incessantly. They would even rape while they was out in the fields picking cotton. They would jump off their horse and tell them to bend over and rape them told them to keep picking cotton while they was doing it. This is the kind of stuff that they would do. Make one slave defecate and enslave in the mouth of another slave, and then bound it up so they couldn't spit it out for 7 days. That's a legacy of slavery. You did it all in the name of Jesus. That's a legacy of slavery. Legacy of slavery. 40 years plus. Legacy of Christianity. Legacy of the cross. That's the legacy. That's the true legacy. So whose works are those? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? The legacy of the cross. Where's your rap sheet, America? Gog? Where's your rap sheet, Magog? Britain? Where's your mayship? Where's your rap sheet? Antichrist, false Israel? What's your rap sheet? Then they colonized Africa. They're stealing from ripping off everyone. The legacy of Christianity has been ruling for over 500 years. And now, the threat of nuclear war to finish off everything. That's a legacy of Christianity in the name of your Jesus.
Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans come out of St. Valentine's Day. The heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Put it back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And the ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return, with their hands stretched out towards that ship, and tied in chains themselves, bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will. You and I, turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shores of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their arms 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you are free. Remember that.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our in subjection to their will. You are now turning your face from your on-native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you were free. Remember that.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here, Messenger of Covenant. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's been a year now, and finally home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. Finally home after 40 years. Right? And so we've been here a year now. And there was an agreement made. A former slave master, he said, we had a choice. Stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance, Arabia. So we left. And half the original people decided they wanted to give up their inheritance and traded for a place in America in reconciliation with their former slave master. That's their choice. They chose, said, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go to where it's sand and all that stuff. We want to stay here in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And we can make peace with our slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we're getting reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given, they got 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, they got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. They was listening to Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, they stay there, 6 states, right? Had their own land. And they can make reconciliation with the former slave master. They're not devils. They're not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, they were just, did some things wrong, but now they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody stayed $1 million. Right? Say, thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. Man, you got 6 states. That's what you promised us. We got 6 states. They're thanking you. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? And this was a year ago. They got the 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. And they're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. Hey, we came, man. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. We got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago when we left. So we're in Arabia. They're still back there in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. Right? And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And just those 6 states. Right? So, and now they have big and massive. They came asking to turn the power. Well, why can't they do it? Oh, Farrakhan didn't train anybody. He was telling you about 6 states, but never prepared you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So now he's begging, man, master, can you come and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told them 6 states to promise him that he would have prepared them for it, right? Their schools and education, whatever they needed for that. But I guess they didn't, because they said over there now he's begging the former master to come and turn the power back on. And then what? I mean, this is all that's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now. A year later, it's like they're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? Then say, oops, crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no. They looked at the farmers when they done it. Farmers said, oh. So then they had master, what's happening here? How come you know, right? Our crop. They found that the land they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, nothing's growing. Crop failure. And now they master, what's happening here? Right? And then, I mean, all these things, every hour that's coming in, right? And then they look, and they had, a year ago, they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? And now, they look there now, and all the food's gone. It's gone. She said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So he said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't produce your own food? I mean, you want your own country. You got your own states. That's your country. Then you run it. What are you calling us for? Right? And so they've been praying. And then, oops, no fuel. There's Master, no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money, right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. And you got your reparations, so we don't owe you anything anymore. We don't owe you anything anymore, so what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of your inheritance, what you call the Abrahamic Covenant, Arabia. Your brothers and sisters, they left. They took that was offered to them. They took it, and you said no. I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh, man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on, Master? Wait a minute, hold on. That's you. What you calling us for? That's yours. You got to handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff was coming every hour, man. Instead of like a year, they was celebrating. And now they crying and begging the Master, hey, we got all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's yours. Where you come about your problems? You have to work those out. Right? No transportation, I mean, no planes, no nowhere. We don't know about fly the planes and to drive the trucks and the boats and stuff and to go and get this stuff. Well, what you done this for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and get to train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you calling for? Yeah, Master, we see this. You said you wanted 6 states, you got it. You want $1 million per person. That was the reparations. So then if you didn't pay people to take care of this, how's that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel, the gas station's empty. I can't drive, eh? And no gas. Man, wow. All this stuff happened like for a year. They thought that everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So I guess what happened? Everything was there when they got it, and then it ran out. They had to, for them to replace the fuel, to get the farms going. So they was left with that stuff. The factory was full. I mean, warehouses full. Then you had to keep. they thought that was just going to, I guess they thought it was just going to be there, just by itself. They didn't prepare for it. See? And they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They you know, business, they didn't train anybody. So Farrakhan, he told you he's going to get this for you, but he didn't prepare you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So now he asked the master, hey, don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you wanted reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, calling your brothers over there. They left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? Okay. You don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? I mean, that's what, you know, because, I mean, if you're going to set reparation, you should be preparing for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be preparing for it. If he thought, if he said, God said that's where he's going to get you, so if God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, to only build an ark, so he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states and the reparations, but apparently you didn't. And so now, it does say, look, hold it. We want total separation. I mean, look, we don't want you calling us no more. We don't want you calling us no more. Because you're wearing us. You want your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, $1 million, all this stuff, right? And so now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you have to create your own money. You have to do all these things, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. That's all economics. So they go and tell it. They tell all the people and you know, on all the white folks, right? Because all the black folks, now all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. You had to be one way or the other. There couldn't be no integration, that kind of stuff. That's the deal. You just said one or the other. So all the black folks are there, and ain't no integration, that kind of stuff, right? Black folks are there, one or the other, so they're there. So they said, okay, right? So they just say, we're going to take our money because we don't know what y'all doing over there. You have your own money, you have your own wealth. So what they do is they tell all the white folks, say, protect your money, right? Transfer your money into gold. Transfer all your dollars into gold. Okay. Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million a piece. So everybody got $1 million a piece, right? And so they transfer it to gold. And then what happens is that what they do is they start just printing money. White folks just start printing money. You understand what that means? That's inflation, right? Because if you got $1 million of gold, a million ounces of gold, say $1 million ounces of gold, understand this, and you got 1 million certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got 1 million ounce, each certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. You know, if you're going to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold, right? But if you take and print, you say you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one. But say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now, because you got to connect that to the gold. Well, you print 4 times, then each one is worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they worth, because those certificates has to equal what the gold is. You understand? So the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, there's less gold. You understand? So $1 is worth 1 ounce of gold, which that's right. Then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's what printing money without increasing their wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is they keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. But see, that doesn't affect their people. They told to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. It still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You had $1 million, now your $1 million worth of $5. That's what all this worth. $1 million. Hardly worth anything. Hey, that's our money. You gotta have your money, you control your wealth. You can't keep coming at us what you're doing. And you think they wouldn't do that? Yeah, you've been a Gaza lately? You see what happened to the trees they made with the so-called natives? Kept telling me you had a forked tongue because they kept making trees with them, then they broke the trees. And took their land and genocide and everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you burn it up, throw it away, it's worth nothing. The people still got gold. And even if they take it, hold on to money, hope to increase again, they're just using another different certificate, using another form of money. So it's still worth nothing. That $1 million you had, you was so happy with now, it's probably worth maybe $1. So you can't buy anything $1. Plus the economy's collapse because everything is failing, and you don't know how to repair it. You don't know how to build communications. You don't know how to do any of this stuff. You don't know how to engineer, build a house. You don't know how to do anything because Farrakhan didn't. Right? He didn't prepare you. He told you he'll give you 6 days. He told you, listen to me, right? So now you're broke, and your economy is gone. You have no food, no electricity, no power, anything, right? It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You still had your inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you want to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. That's you chose. You stay there. They closed the border, so you can't get back in here. You can't get back in America, into what you call your land now? Swaziland or something? Farrakhan. Maybe call it Traveland. Farrakhan. They met the Farrakhan, right? So they close the borders, you can't. Because now you're hungry and everything else, your money's worthless. Oh God, come back, Master, I'll come back work for you, I'll work for Popeyes, I'll do anything you want. No, remember, the blacks, either they over in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, any places, just in that land, that you 6 states. And now you're starving, you ain't got your money's worthless, nothing works, and they close the border. Right? And then you see Master, you on the phone, you talking to the guy that you kept treating, help you. Hey, we finally got rid of them niggas. Finally got rid of them. See on the phone. Yeah, it worked. We sold them no reparations. We sold them that used car. You turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. See? They could have had a BMW. They could have had a Lamborghini. They sold it for a BMW that looked good. Damn thing didn't work. And now they're starving, living in tents. Praying. So what? Then what next? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? You told us to take reparations, so we did. But they gave us everything that we asked for. What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do? Pray. That's his answer. Pray. That's your reparations. Like Elijah Muhammad said, he had a big picture. We leaving, and blacks staying on the shore, the ones stay behind, and they was whooping their ass. Right? Because they thought you think they want to give you some land and take care of you? You think they want to do that? And go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million? How much that is? If it's 17 million, that's 17 million times 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that there. Then they're gonna do all that for you. They want to get rid of you. So now they have succeeded because they closed the border. What you gonna do? You gonna fight to come out? They closed the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. One group's out of here, another group that's here. They're gone, and our hands are clean. We gave them what they wanted. Well, anything. Okay. God honors contracts. Remember, he honored the contract with Jacob. Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob, where it was Esau's inheritance, and God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Farrakhan ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. And this homeland you was promised, you rejected it. So now you got what you asked for. So if they gave you reparations today or tomorrow, how would that scenario not play out like that? Well, they say, okay, you got it. Tell me how the scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they're going to say, okay, we're going to take care of them. I mean, why should they go out their way to take care of you when you was right here? You was working at Popeyes and living in the get up on Section 8, all that stuff right here, because they're trying to get rid of that stuff right now. Trump's trying to get rid of all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening over in America. Wow. Boys come here. Disaster over there. And, I just got a call. Oh, wait, hold on. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know what they call it Conland or something. I forgot what something they call it right there. That 6 day. They begged us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them and bring them? Oh no. Now he went and asked Master Farrakhan Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. And I agree with that. Yeah, the Master said he said, let's call him, and he passed the word to Master Farrakhan Muhammad. Master Farrakhan said, send him back. Master, no, we can't come and get you. You made your choice, live with it. Or die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't believe that. They actually, right, sent a message over. I don't know how they did. I don't have any communication with it. Somehow they got the information over to him. Said, we please come and get him. Nope. Said, no, tell him no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land. You got your reparations. You got your money. You got Farrakhan as your leader. Yeah, tell him. Talk to him. Let him straighten out for you. He didn't want to sell you the idea. He was a salesman. So you on that idea of reparations. We told you. Right? Suleiman, right? He was the messenger to you, telling you, look, man, let's go home. You said no. You chose not to. Okay, brothers and sisters, that's a sad story. But I guess that's it. Is that it? Oh, so they might get any more reports on Okay, he says that was Master Farrakhan Muhammad's final decision, and I think they closed communications off from there. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, we got those rides. All that came in today, man. Came in fast. After a whole year. Total collapse. Now they begging it, somebody help them. We can't do it. Maybe Master help you. We won't do it. Assalamu alaikum. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in that they said, well, if you want to come and get us, well, we at least send them some food. They begged, said, please send us some food. Master Muhammad said, we got to send them a damn thing, nothing, zero. He said, please just send us some food. No, I just got that in. He says, if you can't come and get us, please send us some food. He says, no. He refused. I said, boy, I just got the information from the ambassador. He said, they sent that, and he's read it to me. He says, no. He said, please, just please send us some food. He said, no way. You made your choice, case closed. Okay, just got that in, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.